So the maqam of Ali ibn Abi Talib is so great that we will never be able to understand it. But the Prophet said it at Khaybar. He said what? He said, the man that I am going to give the flag to tomorrow, he is brave and a warrior who doesn't run away. Why is the Prophet saying this? Because certain people ran away. Now everybody's curious. Who's going to be that man? Because the Prophet has promised victory with that man. So it doesn't matter who he gives the flag to, that person 100% guaranteed to bring victory. Sari raat koi sutta hi nahi. Me. Everyone's thinking, Ya Allah, please let it be me. Then the morning came and Rasulullah said, Aina Ali? Where is Ali? They said, Ya Rasulullah, he's just busy. He's kneading dough and making bread for the companions of the Prophet. The Prophet said, call him. They called Amir al-Mu'mineen forward. Amir al-Mu'mineen was then given the flag, the alam that we talk about, the alam. Fought them. How? By one strike, he sent them away. How did he introduce himself? Before every war in Arabia, they used to come out and introduce themselves. They would either introduce themselves from their name, or they would introduce it from their tribe, or they would introduce it from their religion. Even in Karbala, you'll see that every single member, even the Sahaba of Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, would come out and they would introduce themselves in poetry. So Harith comes out, Marhab comes out, they all have this. So Marhab comes out and he says, my mother named me Maut, death, to scare the other individual. Why? Because I am that rope between the skies and the earth. Then he looks towards Amir al-Mu'mineen and says, now you introduce yourself. So before Amir al-Mu'mineen introduced himself, he said, look, Nabi Musa, Nabi Harun, alayhimus salam, were prophets of God. You love them and support them. We love them and support them as well. Why? Because Amir al-Mu'mineen, when it came to fighting, it was the last resort. He wasn't a person who would just go in and just randomly start killing people. He'd give them an opportunity to see. So he was testing them. So he said, look, Haris, Marhab, Antar, all three of them. He said, look, Nabi Musa is our Nabi Musa. That prophet that Nabi Musa prophesied about from Arabia, Ahmad, that's the one standing behind me. He's continuing the same message that you believe in. Let's not fight. So when I said, no, we're going to fight, and Amir al-Mu'mineen realized that there was no other option but to fight, then he says, my mother named me Haydar. Nara Haydari! You see, the moment Amir al-Mu'mineen said, my mother named me Haydar, he was holding two swords in his hand, both swords fell onto the ground. So he was a warrior. The people within the forts of Khaybar knew that as long as Marhab is alive, we're good. If he is to die, that's it, we're done for. So to see that strong warrior all of a sudden drop his two swords from his hand and his hands begin to shake, they said, what's wrong? He said, I'm not fighting you. He picked up his swords, he turned away from Amir al-Mu'mineen, began to walk backwards. So the rabbi comes forward and says, what's wrong? He says, my mother said to me once, oh Marhab, you are very strong. You will grow to be a ferocious warrior. You will kill many people. However, if a man by the name of Haydar comes to you, don't fight him, he'll send you away. So according to that, I don't want to fight him. However, the rabbi said to him, look, that must be a different Haydar. Your mother probably mispronounced the word, whatever it was. They convinced him to go back. Marhab fought, and he was killed by one strike. Amir al-Mu'mineen didn't need two strikes. Just the one strike, Dharab of Ali. Killed Marhab instantaneously, and then as we all know, he lifted the gates of Khaybar, which 40 men used to lower and raise. On his own, Amir al-Mu'mineen lifted the gates of Khaybar and then used it as a bridge for the Muslims to enter into the Qilla, into the fort, and attain victory. But before Amir al-Mu'mineen went out, what did the Prophet say? He said, no one understands Allah other than me and Ali. No one understands me other than Allah and Ali. And no one understands Ali other than Allah and me. So Rasulullah has already set the criteria. We can never understand Amir al-Mu'mineen. I could sit here for years and years and read fadail after fadail after fadail after fadail. And if you look at the bigger grand scope of things, we haven't even touched a drop of the real merits of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He is an ocean and we can merely be small drops. However, with our limited mind, we can mention what Rasulullah and the Ahlul Bayt have mentioned.